So what was your mindset that moment?
When Biocon I was joining as an assistant manager. What is required for regulatory, how with respect to product.
So what are such an important different agencies across the globe?
First is EMA. EMA GMP is very important.
How difficult it is for you guys to coordinate with each and every department, and at what level you guys start working?
Majorly regulatory people, like they will not they will generally be working with the departmental SMEs, the leaders. All the fingers in your hands are not equal, right?
How different it is for biosimilars?
So when it comes to pharma and biopharma or biosimilars, it's the difference of small molecule and large molecule. Biosimilars are large proteins, so they are more complex. So they are a complexity, and the work also is extensive.
One leadership value you never compromise on. What do you prefer in a team member, speed or accuracy? If your legacy was one step or one sentence, what would you want it to say?
My legacy? This is a tough one.
So, Dr. Ballav, welcome to Pharma now. So it's an honor to host you here, right? I think your journey, I was just going through your profile and trying to study it. I think it's amazing.
Appreciate. It's an honor for me to also to be here.
No, that's absolutely, because I think this conversation, the whole objective of this podcast is to basically inspire upcoming generations to walk on your path. You're already a leader, a distinguished leader of the industry, and playing a bigger roles, right? I think regulatory leader is a not a small role at all. So at a very large pharma company. So we really wanted to understand how you started your journey. I think you are based from Bengal, right?
Yes, I'm from Kolkata, West Bengal.
Kolkata. So from Kolkata to today, regulatory affair head at Ipca Laboratories. We really wanted to unfold this journey. So how was it? Like you at the childhood only you decided to be a pharmacist, or it was something different and we got something? I can sense some fun there.
Certainly. Like actually, I am that way. I'm just a simple average person, or rather, I would say in my childhood, I was a studious kid. So all the inner childhood, what we think, we want to become a doctor, we want to become an engineer. So I wanted to become a doctor. So that's how biology was my core interest, and I always wanted, to invest my more in it.
To become a doctor or doctor?
No, I wanted to do a doctor rather. So that was my whole interest. So, but somehow when 12th came up, somehow the doctor thing did not click up, and I got selected for engineering. And then it was like, well, now what to? But before that, even actually, I want to give the credit to my mom. She thought of me to become a scientist because there was television programs which are coming, which are talking about biotechnology. So that was the time, and this is I'm talking about, early October. It was around 2006-7. So that early it was. So that time biotechnology was not that much prominent, particularly in West Bengal. But there are programs on research. So my mom wanted me to be a scientist. She used to show me things. Then actually it was my mom who dreamt me that I want to become a scientist. So then I moved to Bangalore for my studies of my undergrad. So that was in biotechnology, along with chemistry and zoology as major. So and fortunately, unfortunately, things have been really on good favor for me. When during my graduation, in the first semester itself, I became a topper of the college. And I remember a message from my dad that day, like, we are very happy with your success, but we want you to be a doctorate. So it was my dad's dream again. Like they wanted me to be a PhD doctorate. So that was there, and it's just a manifestation. Always wanted, things have fallen in. Then I completed my graduation in biotechnology. Then I went to Vellore Institute of Technology, which is a prestigious university for masters. Okay. And it was good, and I got a good exposure in Indian Institute of Science for my dissertation. So it was more of to become a scientist that time. It was in the mind. Industry, okay, I used to see my seniors working in the industry. So that is like, okay, they are also earning, so I also need to go. So like every single student, how they dream, I dreamed the same way. So it was no different for me. It was no different. I said I am just like any student. I even got a job. Like even before I complete my degree, because I was working for Indian Institute of Science, I had a good research exposure, so I got selected for a company. And then I went, but then when I started my journey, it was a junior position. Obviously, I was a fresher MSc. So then somehow it was not completing my thirst for science and all. Like I want to do something independent. I want to do, complete a project by my own. So that pushed me for PhD, and then I moved to Goa for my PhD, and it was on marine biotechnology, and I got selected for Inspire Fellow. That is from Ministry of Science and Technology to do PhD. So then it was a PhD journey, 4.5 years, learning research, planning your own projects, ups and downs, sad days, good days, happy days, and a lot of even university things also to learn, how to teach people, how to talk to the people. I even had exposure to conferences like today I'm talking. So this kind of things also I got an opportunity. So that was a massive journey in PhD of 4.5 years. Right after I completed my PhD, postdoc came up. Somehow things have been falling in place. So then I opted for postdoc as a national postdoctoral fellow in the field of infection biology of malaria. That was a 2-year journey. So initially when you join postdoc, you are with a lot of enthusiasm. You are coming from PhD things. I was working on a project which was funded by NIH. That is National Institute of Health US. So I had interest. Then questions started coming, what next? So I wanted to become a scientist, but then I saw like over there, I see many scientists like me who are into project, who are working as scientists trying to establish themselves. But I wanted to be more secure. I wanted to be in a position where I can call, okay, I have a secure job. At the end of the day, I come from a middle class family. I wanted a proper job, and I wanted recognition too. So after 2 years, I called it a day for my postdoc. Actually, I forcibly resigned. My mentor wanted me to be continued. He was a really nice person, but I decided no more. So yeah, I was on the highest paid postdoc of the country, and I resigned. Then I came home. It was a break for around 1.5 months. That was a more of introspection period, like where you want to see yourself. That is the time when I started applying for job. And the major challenge, once you have become a PhD and postdoc, you are overqualified for every industry. And you don't, when your PhD is not exactly related to the industry, you are basically overqualified.
Yeah.
So then industry will also think twice, because when you are taking, you will come to a really senior position where they expect you to contribute, but they are not sure whether the PhD will be. But there is always, if you are hardworking, someone will trust you. I was lucky to get a mentor, Dr. Anita Krishnan. Today she is a head of Biocon Global R&D. That time she was working for Lupin. She hired me as under her supervision as a senior executive to work in Lupin Limited in the CMC biotech division.
Okay.
So that's how my industry journey started. So it was 2 years in Lupin doing the CMC, learning industry process, how things work, regulatory documents, the product development. Then I myself got an offer from Biocon for the regulatory affairs department, global regulatory affairs. So I moved to Biocon. There it was, Biocon is a very massive company with multiple global submissions and very professional atmosphere. So my grooming in Biocon really shaped me to become a complete regulatory professional. So, and that gave me confidence that I can do regulatory, I can handle the entire project. So after that, it was a short period in Aurobindo Curatic Biologics, then moved to Ipca. So Ipca actually is growing company. They started from the scratch. They had their own challenges, their products are being developed. So over here, I had a chance to establish the department from the scratch. So this department is my baby. I am making it grow every day. I come up with ideas, I come up with new regulatory guidelines, and I give my inputs. So this is very close to my heart. And since I am there from the scratch, so I am the decision maker for my team. And definitely I work under the able supervision of Dr. Sanjeev Gupta. He is a very encouraging and positive person who manages the entire biosimilar unit of Ipca. So he has given me the responsibility of regulatory affairs. So I am a regulatory affairs head for Ipca Biosimilars. So that's how it is going. and it's a fantastic journey. There are challenges, but we face the challenges together. There are no blame games, always with a positive thought, thinking that there is solution for every problem. So my day starts with thinking there are no problems, there are solutions. So whenever I face any challenges in the regulatory front, I always think this has to be solved. So that remains my attitude. So that's how I go on the regulatory guidelines. I read the literature. I check the product development.
Right.
That's how the journey is going ahead.
So going forward, before going forward, there is a big transition which you did in between, which is from CMC to
Regulatory.
Right. So what was your mindset that moment? while taking
That is interesting. Actually, frankly, it was not that easy. It was not that easy because when Biocon I was joining as assistant manager. So over there, they expected my contribution. So I had the basic knowledge of what is required for regulatory, how with respect to product quality, I had the knowledge of CMC. That helps in the regulatory document preparation. But what are the regulatory guidelines, how exactly you need to shape with respect to the submission, that knowledge I did not have. So initial days, I really had tough time. Frankly, even though I had really good managers who were very encouraging, they understood that if he works hard, he will certainly. So they believed in me, so I could not disappoint them. So it was tough. I would not say it was tough, and I'm still learning today. Also, whenever I consider myself, I'm still learning. So, but I learned a lot during that. But it was okay. It was a hard thing. Like there were days. Okay, I can't say the mistake did not happen. Mistake happened, but okay, it gets solved when you talk about it. When you don't hide anything, definitely there is a solution.
Correct.
So, but it was not that easy. But it did work. But initial 3-4 months, it was a challenge. Because transition, like you rightly said, a transition, it doesn't just happen overnight.
Correct.
You can't just dream of it. You dream of it, manifest it. It will work, but it will take its time, and it depends on you how hard you work on it.
Correct. So, Shuvankar, I wanted to go just like 101, regulatory 101. Let's talk about it.
Sure.
Because for my audience, I think when you say regulatory affair, it sounds like, oh my God, something is very different. And whenever someone gets warning letter, their share prices drop like anything, 10%, 5%. People are mad. They really don't understand what warning letters are and what
Actually,
yeah.
yeah.
Can you put some more meat on what this regulatory is all about?
What is when you I'll start with rather warning letter, like what they are. So when warning letter is issued when you are not regulatory compliant, there is a guideline, there is a good manufacturing practice, what is expected of you. If your facility is not following that, that is the time you get a warning letter. But before that, before warning letter, you get observations. But when observation turns a major observation which cannot be accepted, there has to be a system change. That is the time when they give you a warning letter, and they give you time that you come with a solution, you implement it, then we take off this warning letter. So like for USFDA 483s, like people get scared with the name. I won't believe there are any Indian firms who did not get a 483. Okay, they get 483, they work on it, they bring up the system, and we should take it in a positive note. If we have gotten a 483, then that we need to make our system better, and we are doing it for the patients, we are doing it for the people, and we are doing it more importantly for the lives which we want to serve. So if we have a positive attitude with that, so even a 483 will not, definitely will not scare you. But definitely, it's not a compliment when you get a 483. So rather, I would say if you have a regulatory affairs department, your quality assurance department should work hand in hand with regulatory affairs. That what is required from my facility, because quality assurance are the one who are in charge of the system. They establish the system, they maintain the system. So when they are working hand in hand with regulatory affairs, there are less chances, because regulatory are the people who will be guiding with guidelines and the requirements of the regulatory agencies. If you work hand in hand, if you have a dialogue on regular basis, and if you do a gap assessment, no one can be self-sufficient. Nowadays, today what happens, like people think whatever we have done, this is best. Come on, where there is an assessment. So when you do a gap assessment of your own facility, that helps you a lot. Do a gap assessment, maintain a matrix, Take TCDs on that. This gap I'll close. I have a gap. This TCD I'll close. So if this way, then I think there will be lesser chances of getting warning letters. And regarding shares crashing, people think because when you get a warning letter, your production stops basically because they will not take the drug from there. So that is the time people say, okay, this company is going to shut down or something. They will stop the production. That's the reason why it gets into. But for me, warning letter is definitely not the end of the world. You need to take it on a positive note and you should work for it, and you should work for it fast. There should not be meetings and meetings and meetings. It should not work. There should be actions. Take it. Okay, we got, these are the observations. Even if you submit a regulatory dossier, it will not be approved just tomorrow. There will be queries. Work for it. Don't just keep on discussing. And all the stakeholders, all the cross-functional teams should come together to work. I sometimes tell that regulatory affairs people are like Avengers. They need to bring everybody together and they need to work together to achieve something. That should be the positive attitude which will definitely help you, which will definitely help the company to succeed. So when a success comes to regulatory affairs, it's not only regulatory affairs, it's a success of the company. We are the last department, we represent the company. But what we do for everyone, we do for all the departments. So we represent the company. So if we achieve something, it's the achievement of the company.
Correct. So going back to warning letters, so USFDA issues 483 warning letters. So what about other regulatory bodies? Like
they give
GMP,
major observation,
CDSCO?
minor observations. They give major observations, minor observations. There will be audit. CDSCO comes for audits. They give observations. So those are considered. EMA gives major observation, minor observations, and they come. And when you are applying for any EMA approval, so they will come for your facility audit. So once you clear the audit, your facility is EMA GMP qualified. So unless until you qualified, or if you have, so they will give you observation which you need to close, and they will give you timeline also that within this timeline you need to do it. And CDSCO also gives observation. Unless until observations are closed, you cannot manufacture that product. Okay, observations are given to the facility, but majority of the time it is product specific because applications are product specific. So it is like if one product you are getting, it is not stopping other production, but the agency loses confidence on you. Because they will have the record of that. For this product, you have a GMP observation. So for other product, they will not trust. So it is a very harsh word if agency tells you that we have lost confidence on you. So that is something what we should not let happen.
Correct.
So if you, it's observation comes, you need to work and close it. And I have successfully experienced that. It gives immense happiness when you get finally observation closed. So that works. So only thing that you should not keep on discussing about the observation. We could do this, we could do that. Come with a action. And frankly, I have even faced EMA auditors and all, like when they come for talks and all. They are saying in our Indian scenario, we are too obedient. We want to say yes to whatever auditors say. We don't know how to defend ourselves. We need to have confidence on ourselves. What system we are building, this is good, and this is the best what could be done. When auditor is giving an observation, counter them with scientific rationale, with logic. Then they will understand. If you say yes to it, okay, this is observation. If you say yes, then fine, you take it.
So what are such an important different agencies across the globe?
First is EMA. EMA GMP is very important because if you get a EMA
from
Europe, yeah. If you get EMA GMP certification, then MHRA gets cleared because MHRA follows EMA, and all other ROW countries also gets covered from that, and then USFDA approval. So these are two major regulatory bodies. If you have an approval from them, so that helps you for all the other small countries like ROW countries like Vietnam, then Thailand, or all Singapore or South Africa, all these countries, because when you have a regulated approval, then semi-regulated and ROW is taken care of. So like that. But India in particular doesn't count, like if you have a EMA GMP, they will come to audit your facility and they have their own because it's under their control. And I support that. Like they should come and visit the facility and then check and give it. So that's
for India, CDSO.
CDSCO, yeah, CDSCO is the one. CDSCO subzones. Every state has their zonal office, so they come and visit and they do the audit.
Right. So as you said very correctly, a regulatory affair team is basically an Avenger who calls each and everyone when the time comes in. So how difficult it is for you guys to coordinate with each and every department, and at what level you guys start working with?
Okay, so majorly regulatory people, like they will not they will be generally be working with the departmental SMEs, the leaders. So difficult in a sense, all the fingers in your hands are not equal, right? So being a regulatory person, you need to have a calm, cool mind. So who understands people's challenges and who understands how the things to be get done. So when you're talking to a departmental leader, you understand his challenges also. You cannot just impose, I need this, you need to do it. Understand his challenges, have a dialogue. And basically you bring everybody into one round table, discuss and then plan an execution. And so being a regulatory, I certainly like, it is like a leading the project. So, but you cannot call yourself a leader. Regulatory part is that you will have to lead, but you cannot call yourself a leader. Because when you, that's a typical mentality. When you call yourself a leader, then people are like, this person is really rising too high. So you basically don't get a throne, but play the role of a leader, bring everybody together. They will listen because they understand your job, because their data goes through you. So they have the trust on you. So first thing, you need to earn their trust that I am, whatever I do, I make sure that it is perfect and it is the best in the shape. Once you earn that trust, they will give you data, they will give you the data. Then in terms of meeting the timelines, when you get a timeline, discuss, see how, break the plans into smaller plans, and then have a proper matrix where you can follow up. That this is what we planned for this, and if we don't do this, this might get impacted. So if you have a bigger plan, you have a bigger submission, rather call it a submission. But for one submission, there are multiple sections. Have TCDs for all the sections. Have gentle follow-ups. If someone is facing challenges, talk to them. What you can do. Take the help of the project management team. So this is the way how cross-functional works. So like we'll have to work with in the clone development to packaging, to raw material. Everything we'll have to see. So regulatory affairs is majorly dependent on quality assurance as well as project management. So, but that depends company to company. Like project management also, supports the, progress of the project. So sometimes regulatory counts, they say that these are the challenges we are facing, you need to sort it. So that's how it helps.
Right, wonderful. So we of course aware about regulatory compliances at pharma company, but how different it is for biosimilars and biopharma?
Okay. So when it comes to the pharma and biopharma or biosimilars, it's the difference of small molecule and large molecule.
Yeah.
Biosimilars are large proteins, so they are more complex. So they are a complexity and the work also is extensive. So there is a huge amount of R&D what is involved. So from the development of a clone, and these are biological systems, they are not unlike the machines. So it behaves with their own inherent property. Today, and you need to have such a control that over the period of the time it behaves the same. So there is upstream processing, there is downstream, who works on the biological system. So how it works, like in pharma company, it is more of a straightforward, and it is a small scale. And even the dossier also in much smaller shape. Whereas like I'm just putting an abrupt number, if a pharma dossier comes around 500 to 600 pages, so in terms of regulatory affairs, including all the module 1 to module 5, it will go to 6,000 to 7,000.
Oh my God.
Including the clinical reports. That's how. So that's a difference. It's like you can call it a 10x. I'm not undermining, but that's a fact. That's a fact.
Okay.
That's a fact.
So in regulatory affairs, like USFDA just introduced for internal circulations the AI-based model. I must have come across this. So how AI is impacting regulators' work?
AI is not impacting regulators. AI is making our work easier. So we are actually, AI is still in baby steps, rather I would say. So we are exploring AI, how best we can utilize.
Correct.
So in terms of regulatory, like AI is quick. When you need any immediate, like I said, regulatory development need to be very fast because our pace is company's pace. We need to be the fastest. Sometimes if you need a quick summary of anything, so AI definitely can use. Data processing, AI helps, but definitely you need to validate like whatever information is coming, because source of AI sometimes is limited and it will conclude based on its source, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So suppose I am telling like not everywhere everything is a paperless system. So if there is a hard copy information which is not in a paperless system and AI process the paperless system, so doesn't the hard copy information will just remain untouched. So whenever you get any AI information, validate it with respect to the document. And regulators, in terms, it is AI is being implemented for the process instruments. So that is helping extrapolation. That is decreasing the number of experiments, the design space what we do for the process, that it is helping in that. So with respect to that, it is decreasing the time, it is decreasing the cost. So that's how it, because extrapolation, if you can predict successfully, then definitely you don't need to run those experiments.
Right.
So it is making it faster. So we are trying to implement AI for our better and how best we can use. So there are multiple AI tools, lot of things are coming up. So we are trying to utilize it. Some people are using in dossier writing, some people are using in query responses. It might sound very funny, but there are times when you have multiple queries, 150 queries to read, it will take time. Rather, if you have an AI tool which you can use and get a template for a probable query, that helps you out. So that's how it works. Even there is information searching also, right? But there is a new thing coming up as regulatory intelligence, where they're using AI tools to process the required regulatory data. Right now, lot of regulatory data like EPAR assessment reports, USFDA reviews on several different products, they are available. But if you can quickly get them processed through AI tools, that will make the process very fast. But again, whatever get processed, you need to validate. So I certainly believe that whenever you are processing any information about through any regulatory about AI tools, so then you should be a domain expert, because the mistakes you need to be able to identify, or else if there is something that will continue.
Correct. No, and in current AI implementation, there is also a challenge of hallucination.
Yeah.
So, I think it's very important how the model has been designed.
Developed, yes. That's how the model is validated.
Yes.
So even like when we see the USFDA AI guideline, they are saying you need to come for a discussion that what is your concept for using this AI. They are asking for the proof of concept. They are asking that you need to discuss with us to get it validated before you implement.
Correct.
So don't implement and then tell that I have done this, I cannot change. So rather have the concept, run your small batches, run the proof of concept, discuss with agencies whether whatever you have done,
Correct.
whether it is valid or not.
Correct.
So that is definitely required.
Certainly.
That is definitely required.
So I think let's go to the certain aspect. I think because in decades of experience, you must have faced a lot of appeals or audits, right? So tell us a moment where you feel that okay, I may not able to complete it, or you might have feel that oh, I'm helpless right now, what to do? Is there any such a scenario happened?
I won't say I felt helpless, but there are definitely good days, bad days. Like, see, these are few things which I cannot exemplify, because I definitely certainly represent a company. But I would say there have been challenges in audits. It's not always a cakewalk. Like when you find that it is just going to end like a cakewalk, you might get a step on a thorn. That is a time when you have got. And see, it is for an audit is for the improvement.
Right.
So if you take it, like I again say, if you take it on a positive note, it will definitely work.
Correct.
There are situations when we face like, oh dear God, like this, we have got this minor observation, but this is really going to impact how we are going to sort it. But there is no impact as such on any product quality or any human lives. So that's why, so it was some observation on some practice which has to be corrected. So we made sure after that there is a system in place that this observation never should come up. So then it becomes a good memory that okay, we implemented a system because of we got an audit observation. But if we would have not got, and if things would have proceeded further and we would have got any major audit and we got that observation, that would have been really challenging. So this is, I won't say audits were always a cakewalk. No, they come up, they give observations. Then after that, months goes, to bring the systems in place.
Correct, that's true. So according to you, what would be the future of regulatory affairs? What are we going to new trends?
New trends. Future of regulatory affairs is very bright, because what I see that biosimilars are coming up. Like today over there in the panel discussion, once I mentioned that there are 180 biologic molecules which are losing patent exclusivity, and only 10% of them have been being translated as biosimilars. So there is a huge void which need to be worked. So now, being a regulatory affairs, you cannot be rigid, being just on a confined domain and old school thoughts that thinking that I do this is my job. You need to update yourself. Learn a bit of business development, learn a bit of market trends, do your regulatory, implement regulatory AI tools, learn about regulatory intelligence, whatever, how best things are coming up. So if you have a open, domain kind of mind, then definitely you will get updated, and it will certainly help. So, but if you are working on a confined strip, then you are going to find hurdles because AI is coming, which might take up some people's job. So you need to update yourself so that you counter AI.
That's a very important message, I think, Ballav. So it is really pleasure to know about the regulatory affairs and various functions of it. So thanks a lot for sharing your insights. I think
Thanks a lot for having me. That's like while talking to you, like even some thoughts are coming up. Like, okay, these were there inside which I did not even experiment. Thank you for having me here, so I could express those things.
Yeah, that's absolutely it's pleasure mine because it's a really amazing conversing with you, and thanks a lot once again coming for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
Dr. Ballav, we are stepping into the rapid round. Yeah,
Sure.
Ready?
Ready.
Yes. The first thing you notice in young associate or young regulatory associate, let's say.
Energy.
Energy. Wonderful. One leadership value you never compromise on.
Respect.
Nice. What do you prefer in a team member, speed or accuracy?
Both.
Okay, why?
Because being a regulatory affairs, you need to be fast and you need to be accurate too. But I give them time, like to be accurate and speed both.
Sure. Next, if a critical query arrives at 9 p.m., who should raise the flag? Executive or lead?
Actually, the query will first come to the lead. So lead will inform the executive. So it's majorly communication comes to lead. So lead will raise the flag.
Okay, sure. One thing you always tell your team when they are stuck with the tough submissions.
Have patience. Take a break. Read again where exactly you are stuck. Discuss and have it a third eye. If you are not able to solve, might be you have reached a saturation. So call someone who is not involved in that activity. So that will help.
Perfect. Nice answer. Thank you. Next, a book, quote, or a mentor that shape your regulatory thinking.
A mentor.
Okay. Can you name?
Right now, I would name Dr. Sanjeev Gupta.
Nice. Okay. What's tougher, explaining science to regulators or explaining regulations to scientists?
Okay. The second one, regulations to scientists, because regulators already know the science.
It's always tough, right?
It's always tough.
Okay, one piece of advice to young regulatory professionals in the biosimilars.
You guys have a lot of energy. Take it a little slow and develop your concept. That will help. Rest will fall in place.
Okay, last one. If your legacy was one statement or one sentence, what would you want it to say?
My legacy? This is a tough one. People always tell that I always have a lot of energy 24/7. Like you are always having the energy. So my legacy, I would name it as on energy and enthusiasm.
Okay. Wonderful. I think that was really fun answer. Nice answers.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a
Thank you
lot,
so much.
Dr.
Thank you
Ballav.
so much for having me.